everyone, my name's Holly and I'm the Child and Youth Development Programmer at the Petawawa Military Family Resource Center. Thank you so much for joining me today for a very special Father's Day edition video activity today. We're going to be making a catch-all dish for that special dad in your life. Now when I use the term dad, that really is a unique term, so whoever you look to as a father figure in your life, I'm sure this gift will truly make their Father's Day special. So we're going to do this a little differently today. I know usually I go through all the supplies and all the ingredients off the get-go, but because we need, there's quite a few steps in this activity, I thought that I would just go through what materials you need and how to use the material as we go, just to shorten the video time. So let's get started on making our Father's Day super duper special. Okay, before we jump into the supplies and how to get started, I just wanted to show you guys a close-up of what the catch-all dish will look like. As you can see, my boys made one for number one dad and one for number one grandpa. And later they will paint them. So a catch-all dish is really for those special trinkets that maybe you and dad find outdoors or find on an adventure together, or it can be used for loose change, for jewelry, or for whatever they feel would go into their catch-all dish. So first you're going to start with a mixing bowl. So I'm just using a regular bowl here, and then you're going to take 2 cups of flour. I'm using white flour, and you're just going to pour it into your bowl. Next you're going to take 1 cup of salt, and you're going to add that to your flour. Using a whisk, you're going to whisk your 2 dry ingredients together. Parents, this is a great opportunity for your children to get involved. It's really good for math skills, learning measurements, and getting a little messy, a little hands-on experience with mom or dad. This is a lot of fun to do. Next, you're going to add your water. So it's just 1 cup of water. I'm just using room temperature. It didn't specify on a temperature. And guys, this is going to make salt dough. So that is what your catch-all dish is made out of. So then using a spatula or whatever you have on hand, if you want to be brave and use your hands, that's fine too. You're just going to mix your ingredients together until it becomes a dough. So like almost like Play-Doh. If during the time you're mixing at the end, you find that you need to add a little bit more water, a little bit more flour, feel free to do so. Okay, so once your dough is moldable, so it almost makes like a ball, or you should be able to make a ball with it. You can take it out of your bowl. You don't have to take the whole thing, but I'm just going to take about half of it. As you can see, I can make a nice ball out of it. I'm going to take some extra flour, and I'm going to sprinkle it onto my surface. This will help your dough from sticking onto the table or whatever surface you're using, like that. Then I'm just going to place the dough inside, or on top, sorry, and flatten it out with my hands as best as possible. And then, unfortunately, I forgot to pick up a new rolling pin, so I'm using a handy dandy water bottle. But so if you don't have a rolling pin on hand, a water bottle always works. And again, you're just putting flour on top of your dough and over your rolling pin or your water bottle. And you're just going to roll it out to a consistent level across the board. So you want it to be like the same thickness across. So if you're looking at it from the edge of the table, it'll be the same thickness for the whole bottom. Okay, now is your time to decide what shape you want to make your catch-all dish. So as you can see, I'm using a circle. I already have it floured so it won't stick whenever I press it into my dough. But really, it is completely up to you on what shape you want to use. I'm just going to use a little bit more flour here. And then you're just going to press it into the dough. Wiggle it a little bit. And then just pick up your excess dough from around the edges and get rid of that. And then slowly take your bowl or whatever object you're using to make your catch-all dish and just make the sides even and pretty. Now you're going to line a baking sheet with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, this will still work, but the parchment paper just helps from the catch-all dish sticking to your pan. So as you can see, I still haven't picked up my dish just yet. I'm going to take my spatula and I'm just going to get some flour on it. Again, this will help it from sticking, and you're just going to get it off the surface and place it onto your pan. Try to keep the shape as best as possible. Okay, so now that the bottom of your dish is on your pan, you are going to take a pencil or a sharp object. I'm using a pencil, but you could use like the tip of a butter knife or whatever you have on hand. And this is what you're going to use to carve in the message into your catch-all dish. So as I showed you before, I did, my kids did number 1 dad and number 1 grandpa, and this was just by using a pencil. So this is a little bit of a process. Slow and steady wins the race. So for this one, we'll just do number 1, just to give you guys an idea. And you just want to push down, not so that you're going through the dough, because then it will be making holes in your dish. Just enough that you definitely can see the carving that you want in your catch-all dish. And then down, so number 1. So you can personalize it to your liking, whatever you like. I'm sure will be beautiful, and I would love to see pictures at the end. So if you feel up to it, please send them my way. So there, now that you have your carving into your dish, the bottom of the dish, now we're going to make the edge of the dish. So we want to put an edge or a rim on the dish so that whenever dad or whoever puts their items inside, they don't fall off the sides. They stay inside the catch-all. Okay, as you can see, I like to work in a mess. So taking some of your dough, we're gonna make a roll of dough. So just guess. Again, if you have to do this a few times, that's okay. That's the fun in it. And I'm just gonna roll it in my flour, and you're just gonna roll it out until you have almost like a snake, a very thin little snake, to your liking again. This is your dish for that special person, so you'll know when you get there. Okay, so once you have your edge rolled out to the consistency that you want it, to the way it looks, you're going to just pick it up gently and make sure that it's long enough to fit around the bottom of your dish. So as you can see, mine fell off there. That's okay. And you just hold it up like this, and it should just squeeze into the bottom of your dish. Now, if you guys want to make a design on this, that would look cool too. It's really up to you guys what you do. This is just used for an idea. Okay, like this. And then again, you're just going to have to play with it and make sure that, again, it's sticking to the bottom of your dish, like so. And then it's the way that you like it. So just, as you can see, perfect. So once this part is done and you're happy with the end result, you're gonna put it into the oven. So this will need adult supervision. Guys, you can put this in the oven at 150 degrees. So usually it's the lowest setting of your oven. Well, at least that is for mine. And you leave it in there until you get the dough will turn almost like a chalky white. So you'll know when it's done. You can ask an adult to reach in and push on it. And if it's hard, that means it's done. It will have a little give at the beginning, but if it has a crust almost on the edge, that means that it's ready to be taken out and to leave then air dry until it cools. If you don't want to use an oven, you can definitely leave this air dry. It will take at least 24 hours. Again, once it's hard to the touch, it's ready to pick up and to move on to the next step. But either way will make a perfect catch-all dish. Okay, so once you take them out of the oven, as you can see, They are hard as a rock. Salt dough gets quite hard. You can paint them. So we just made ours last night, so my kids didn't get a chance to paint them yet. So I'm not going to show that part on camera, but really guys, it's up to you to make them your very own. I'm sure whatever technique you use, it's going to look beautiful. You can use marker, paint, or you can just leave them as is. They're truly cute the way they are. And they're a handmade gift from you, so I know that they'll make your dad's day. So with saying that, I wish you all a very happy Father's Day, and thanks so much for joining me today. Bye.